Hey everyone, and welcome back. In the last video, we added some functionality to allow our character to sprint around the map, but we implemented it in a way where he can only sprint for a certain period of time before he gets exhausted and then slows back down. And then we link that up with our stamina bar. We have a couple of different parameters in here. We made it like a more toggle type of sprint, where we can just tap the key, and then once we let go, we stop walking. Our character will stop sprinting. Those types of little things are up to you, and we also implemented it in a way where you can't sprint if you're currently reloading, which again, personal preference, but that's how we built it. Feel free as you get more confident in your scripting skills to make it however you would like and fit your personal preferences. So what we're going to do in this video, this one's going to be pretty short. All we're going to do is we are going to link our isSprinting Boolean, which is set to be true right here. I'm going to get rid of these print strings actually. Set true right here when we start sprint. And then when we stop sprint, it is set to be false. We're just going to link that up to our anim graph so that we can do a running animation. So that'll be pretty cool. So it turns on right here and then stops right here. So let's go ahead and do that now. So all we need to do is go into our character and let's do player anim blueprint. Let's go to our event graph, and then outside of this then one with our other player references, let's drag in player. And we'll go get is sprinting, and let's promote this to a variable, and we'll keep the same name is sprinting to make it coherent to us. You know the drill by now. We're gonna variable for sprinting animation, so we know what all these things do. They're nice and comment boxed apart from each other. That looks nice. So now let's go back into our player movement. So go to the anim graph, which is over here. Find our player movement state machine, and we're going to add a new state. I'm going to drag switching weapon like over here because this new state is going to connect to both of these. We want to create transitions for both because we can sprint if we switch a weapon while we're switching weapons. That's fine. Okay, so we want to add nodes going there and back for both of them. So there and back. And they're going to have the same exact rules. So if we're idle and we want to head over to sprinting, let's just check. Well, are we sprinting? If we are sprinting, we're going to run this animation. If we are not sprinting, then we want to go back to our idle run animation. The same thing goes through here. So if we're switching a weapon and we start sprinting, I'm just going to say, well, are we sprinting? And then if you want to go on the way back, sprinting, not sprinting. It's as simple as that. The last thing we need to do is just make sure there's actually an animation for here, and we don't have one connected to our skeleton. So let's go to shooter game, animations FPP, and it's called Roadie Run. It's the one. Rifle Roadie Run right here. Assigned to the new skeleton, player skeleton. If we open this up, this is also going to have broken sounds. So if you remember how to do that from previous videos, actually, we should probably have that one in here. Let's run. Well, there you go. And we can make this a little bit louder, like maybe like 1.5. The footsteps are a little bit louder if we're running. So like, sure. So now it sounds like this. Pretty cool. So now we should see that Roadie Run right here. Plug that in like that, compile, and that should be everything. Normally I feel like I forget something, but I think that's everything. So let's pick up the gun, and now same thing, hit sprint, and there we go. Now we're running, and then we let go of W. Oh, something's weird going on there. And we stop sprinting. Huh. What the heck is going on there? Okay, so I figured out the problem. instead of is sprinting on this one, we're going to use is switching weapon. All right, so on the way here, is switching weapon to is sprinting, we're going to say is not switching weapon. We can transition from switching weapon to sprinting if we're not switching a weapon. And we can transition from the sprinting animation to the switching weapon animation if we are switching a weapon. So now this should work. There we go. The only other thing we don't have is jumping animations. So we're just running through the air. So, you know, this video isn't too long. Let's just go ahead and add the jumping animations right now. So we don't look stupid. So let's create some new states. Add a state, and we'll call this jump start. Another state, jump loop, and then a final one, jump end. There we go. And these, unlike the other ones, they're not moving. Oh my gosh, what was that? They're not moving from forward and back. These move in like a little triangle, like that. I don't know if did we get is in air? We did not. Okay. That is one variable that we definitely need. Yeah. Okay, so in our event graph, let's go ahead and try get pawn owner, and then let's get our movement component of that pawn, which is going to be our player, and let's say is falling, and then let's promote this to a variable and call it is in air, and hit the wrong key there. Go. And then let's do something like that. Line it up. Controls, jumping animation. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. So now we have that. Yeah, it's gonna hate us for a second, but rest assured, we'll be fine. So let's do this. If we're in air, that's how we'll transition from the run to the jump start. To transition from the, we have to slot these animations in, don't we? Yeah, we do. Okay, so let's go ahead and do this first because it'll get confused if we don't. So let's just type in jump in the same folder, and we have jump start. We want the rifle one. Jump start, loop, and end. So let's just assign these to our player skeleton. Like that, and then we can slot in our sounds. They actually have jumping sounds. But you should know how to do that by now. So I trust you. There's your homework for the day. If you want to do that, jump loop, player skeleton, retarget there, and then rifle jump end. Yes, 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 retarget. Yes. Okay. So now let's plug these in. Jump start, we'll go with jump start. Jump loop, we'll go with jump loop, and jump end, we'll go with, you guessed it, jump end. Okay, now we need to make transitions between these. So what we're gonna search is time remaining in our jump start animation, and we'll say is less than 0.1. So if there's less than 0.1 seconds left in this jumping start animation, we're gonna move to the jump loop animation. Okay, and then to move to jump end, we're gonna say, are we not in air? So we will have the jump loop animation keep looping until we're not in the air anymore, and then we'll be able to transition back from jump end to idle if there is, let's say, less than 0.25 left in our jump end animation. And then what we want to do is we want to be able to go to jump from sprinting as well. And then that's going to have the same parameter of just being like, well, are we in the air? Compile and save. And now we hop in and play. And we have our gun. And there's something strange going on with that. But for the time being, let's just sprint. It's working. And then we jump. And he does the jumping. And then he's still sprinting even after the jump. But if I let go, he just lands. So all that works perfectly. Working good. I might try to figure out if there's something weird going on with equipping the weapon. And if there is, I will get back to you on that. Sometimes there's errors in my program that might not be persisting in yours, but I will fix mine just in case I told you something that is a little bit faulty. But yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next lesson.